Yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy Griggs, and welcome back to Griggs Talks. It's been a while. I think it's been like 10, 12 days. Life's been busy. New job started, and I'm not gonna lie, Manchester United have been pretty depressing to talk about. So, not really been having anything to really talk about other than us being ass, and it felt repetitive. But I had an off day today, so I figured let's break the silence. Let's come talk about it. Obviously, yesterday's game happened. Royal Rumble happened over the weekend. Injury crisis. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Amrim. Obviously, I think he's kind of the big elephant in the room at this current moment. So whenever anyone decides to join, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And yeah, let's get started. Manchester United on February 17th, which is today's date, is 15th in the Premier League. Everton Football Club are above us. Tottenham are obviously above us after yesterday's game. Probably every other club in the Premier League other than the bottom three is above us at this point, it feels like. And yeah, we're pretty shit. We're pretty shit. And from the title of the video, a new low every week. Yesterday, after the game, found out that was the first time Spurs ever did a double over Manchester United in the Premier League era, which spans back from 1992, which is 33 years, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, what's up, JJ, my boy? Yeah, but first I'm gonna talk about yesterday's game before I get into like what's happened over the past week. That late transfer like deadline where we did absolutely nothing, all that kind of stuff, because I didn't really talk about that. And then yeah, yesterday Man United went into a Spurs game with a few injuries. No Ahmad, no Mainu, no Eriksson. Who else was injured? No Licha, obviously. No Garte, no Collier. Anyone else injured? Lenny Yoro. So a lot of injuries, but we were still able to field a pretty competitive 11. It was Onana, Mazarawi, Delic, Maguire. Yeah, honestly, I have been checked out, but I figured I owe my subscribers at least a video to talk about what's going on over the past week. And then yeah, Dorgu played yesterday. Obviously, it was good to see. And he played on the left, not the right, which is also good to see. Dalo at right wing back. Midfield pairing of Casemiro, Bruno, and then a front three of Garnacho, Hoyland, and Xerxes, which is just a haram front three if you really think about it. But yeah, Manchester United played yesterday, and to be honest, I was watching the game at work. I caught most of it. Obviously, I missed some parts, but for the most part, I didn't think United were like too terrible. I thought it was like honestly, it felt like a game with no intensity. And considering what was happening, our bench had 9 academy kids, or 8 out of 9 players on the bench were academy kids. The only veteran on the bench was Victor Lindelof, and he's just irrelevant, so it doesn't really matter. So we weren't that bad. Yeah, I thought we were actually decent. We created a lot of chances, but we couldn't score a goal, which is not surprising because we have the worst attack in Europe, in my opinion. It's just these guys couldn't score a goal if they asked for it, especially Garnacho, for example. Garnacho missed one of the easiest opportunities I've ever seen. And then we conceded, I think, like 2 minutes later, maybe I have it after the goal. I don't remember. But yeah, and for the goal, I know a lot of people blame Onana, but yeah, just the lake ball watching, but I'm not even gonna talk about the lake. I'm too tired, man. Been a while. I've been good, but honestly, started a new job, all that kind of stuff. I've been chilling, working hard. Full-time jobs, obviously, not really home as much. I only get 2 days off, and I'm not gonna lie. Talking about United on my days off just makes me even more depressed. So I spend doing other stuff on my days off, but I figured we just played yesterday. I have a day off today. Let's talk about United. We had, like I mentioned, we had an injury crisis over the weekend where I almost fell to my knees at work, where I saw Ahmad and Kobe Manu injured on the same day. Because it's not hard enough to be supporting United. We don't suffer enough misery. Sports guys just figure, you know what, Griggs, I'm gonna take your 2 favorite players away from United, and I'm gonna have them be injured and be announced on the same day. So Ahmad's out for the rest of the season, which at that point, I really don't want to watch United at all. And then Kobe Mainoo's out for like, I think, a month and a half to 2 months, which is basically, let's be real, towards the end of the season. So I lost 2 of the only players I like watching on the team. Lisandro Martinez is also out for the season, and he's probably the only player in that back 6 that knows how to move the ball in any space forward. So yeah, it was just a terrible day on Saturday. And then, Sunday, match day, it just becomes even more terrible. But obviously, before we get to the negatives, I think one of the few positives is really Patrick Dorgu yesterday. I was really impressed by him. I said that he looked special on Twitter. Um, I thought overlaps were good. He was getting ignored, but I thought overlaps were good. Defensively, he looked pretty solid against Kulusevski. He's strong and he's quick, and he's pretty solid technically. That's all you can really ask for from a signing, and that's what United should be recruiting for a very very long, hopefully for the foreseeable future. Quick, strong, athletic players that are decent, have a decent technical level. It's not that complicated. It's really, really not that complicated. I promise football is not that complicated of a sport, but Manchester United have managed to make football look like a 5-year-old trying to do trigonometry. That's what it feels like. And then to make even matters worse, yesterday I saw Anthony score a golazo. So I'm seeing Anthony leave United and have a glow up. Everyone is just having a glow up post United, except Jadon Sancho. But nonetheless, I'm not gonna talk about that. But yeah, the post United glow up is real. We're cursed. We're just cursed. And there's times I just want to be like, yo, we just got to give it up and move on in life. That's all we can really do. But before I continue, obviously read the comments. Big up Emirates Arab. Congrats. I work at it's just a retail job. I actually work with Oski now. So I see him every day. Shout out Oski, by the way. It's his birthday today. So if you see him or if you follow him on socials, make sure you wish him a happy birthday. But yeah, I work in retail, like stocks, stuff like that. Yeah. Any serious forward line looks at Poro Bendit. Yeah, man. We don't eat good though. We just struggle to, bro. You just see Holland's first touch bounce backwards, and you just like, what do we do? What do we do from here? Well, you sell all 3 academy assets and rebuild with that money. Nothing else to do. So, right? No, that's not what we're gonna do. What's up, my boy Simon? Dorgu looks comfy, but on my desk, he was just getting caught on the overlaps. Yeah, man. He was just running up and down the pitch, just getting ignored down the left. And obviously, I did a little subliminal tweet. I said, who would have enjoyed playing with Dorgu on the left hand side, right? But I'm not really gonna talk about that because I'm gonna get yelled at, right? Because if I keep talking about Marcus Rashford, people are just gonna call me biased, you're a homer, all that kind of stuff. Get over it, give it up, Griggs. But I'm just gonna say, every single time I've seen Marcus Rashford with a capable overlapping fullback on the left hand side, he's looked really good. And that said left back was Luke Shaw, right? And we all remember the Rashford Luke Shaw 2-man step. We saw it during lockdown. We saw it in 22-23. How good when those two play together and they're both fit and they're both confident, how good they look together. Luke Shaw obviously is just not even a left back anymore. So Rashford's left backs have been Dalo, Wan-Bissaka, Mazraoui. And even Mazraoui, that game against Chelsea, you saw I thought Rashford was pretty solid in that game. Now you have Dorgu, who is just a one-man wrecking ball down that left-hand side. He just overlaps for days. The guy has an insane engine. And then you have Garnacho just refusing to take the overlap in a system where if you want this system to thrive, if this system that Amram has created has any chance to thrive, the wingbacks need to be able to get on the ball so they can get the ball and create chances for the striker. Because this system requires pretty much only one main goal scorer, which is the striker, and neither of our strikers really have any shot of scoring a goal. But they need the wingbacks to be able to be creative outlets. What is the point of Dorgu running up and down the pitch and not getting the ball? Instead, I have Dalo always getting the ball on the right-hand side, and he just does nothing with it. The amount of times that Bruno switched the play with Dalo into space and nothing happened after that was so much. It was constant. But Dorgu never got the ball in those opportunities. I think he's a really solid player, and whether I don't know what's going to happen with Amram, I don't really want to talk too much about that. But whatever happens, he's definitely someone that I think can eventually transition into, if we go to a manager that plays a 4 at the back, I think he can end up playing left back, especially with modern football. He's quick, he's strong. Defensively, he can end up doing a job, right? But offensively, he's much better. And defensively, he has all the physical tools to just be a capable left back, right? Defensively, you don't have to be a crazy like Wan-Bissaka level 1v1 player. Just be physical and make sure that it's not an easy day for your opposing winger. But I thought he was probably the one main bright spark. Well, other than that, what else was the bright spark yesterday? Our front three. I mean, Xerxes I thought was decent on the ball, but times he wasn't. I don't understand what he's doing in the 10. I know Amram talked about he's not really a 9. He's more of a 10. And this is why I question Amram's like adaptability and stuff like that. Why didn't you? You obviously have no wingers. You have one winger left. It's Alejandro Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho is the only winger left in this football club at this current moment. Everyone else is pretty much dead. You have 2 strikers. Why not play a split striker? Why you can't play a 3-5-2? It's a 3 at the back. It's off the ball. You can pretty much have the same shape. You could easily do a 4-4-2 out of possession. And you could do a 4-2-4 on the ball. Why can't you do that? It's like, this is why I question adaptability. You have two strikers. Garnacho sucks. You have Bruno. You could play. You have the midfielders. Might be a little. Obviously, you don't have as many players right now. Obviously, yesterday was a lot of injuries, but and I'm going to talk about the bench. But there's ways to adapt, and this is why he's too rigid. He's too stubborn. In a time where, let's be real, if you're going to be stubborn, it better be worth the stubbornness. And right now, the stubbornness is not worth it because we're 15th in the Premier League. We have 4 wins in about 15 games. David Moyes took over Everton a month ago, and he's already above us. I'm not saying this that Amram is the main guy to be blamed here, but he has to hold some level of culpability of what was going on right now. Yes, I know the players are ass, but we have genuinely regressed since he got here. We're like 15th in expected XG. We're 15th in expected goals allowed. We have a negative 7-8 goal difference. We're bad, and we haven't gotten better. We generally have gotten much, much worse ever since he took over. So I understand the squad is shit. The squad is really, really bad. But as a coach, your main job is to improve your players, and your main job is to go win games. And to put your players in a position on the pitch for them to go win games. And right now, the way we're setting up is suicide. Yesterday, Bruno Fernandes had to do the job about 4 people. And our best creator now has to play deep. And on that bench, I know there was a bunch of kids yesterday, and I understand that academy is hard to integrate academy, especially in the situation that United are currently at. But also, Mr. Senor Amarim, mind the club that you're at. You're at Manchester United. When we're at our worst, it's always been a kid that saves us. It's always been some academy kid that steps up and brings this new hope of life into the team. He injects it. Last year, it was Kobe Mainoo, right? In 1920, only when Martial was injured, Rashford was up and down. It was Mason Greenwood that stepped up. Before Greenwood, it was Marcus Rashford, Martial, the Europa League days. Under Moyes, it was Januzaj that stepped up and gave us a couple nice moments. Be like, yo, we have something here. Martial as well in 15-16. It's always been this young player that comes through and injects. This year, for moments of time, it's been Amad Diallo. And yesterday, you had the opportunity. You had about 8 academy kids. Obviously, not all of them were going to play. And I knew a big part of me knew that the odds of him making substitutions was very slim to none. But the substitution of Cheeto coming on with 2 minutes left in the 91st minute when you're down by 2 goals, I'm sorry. That's kind of disgraceful. The kid, bro, you could have given him 20 minutes. We know we're ass. The expectations are at all-time low. Let's see what the kid got. You're chasing a game. You need another attacker. Put him up there. Højlund wasn't doing anything all game. Xerxes is not really the greatest of goal threats. Throw a kid that's coming off a hat trick in the FA Youth Cup, and he's hungry. That's the thing with the academy kids. They're hungry. They're ready to prove themselves. They have no baggage. Eventually, the baggage is going to come to them. But as of right now, they have no baggage. Why not play him? In the midfield, Casemiro was giving the ball away for free every single time he got on there yesterday. Why not bring in Sekou Kone? So you can do, there's stuff to do. I understand the squad is bad. I understand the squad needs an overhaul. Even though we're broken, we have about 70 mil to our name right now, which is absolutely disgraceful. But the odds of a squad overhaul is very slim to none as well. So if you have any chance of making it work, you also have to improve the players here. Why is Amram not incrementally improving Højlund? I'm not gonna lie, Højlund just looks, his confidence looks shot. Nothing can go right in his game right now. I said that he needs a loan, bro. I honestly, people are gonna be like, how is a 70 mil player gonna have to go to the championship? Yo, Højlund needs to go championship. He needs to go to Sky Bet Championship, get a loan move down there, and learn how to play the position. Because the first touch is terrible, and he just looks so devoid of confidence. At least, like, you know what's crazy? The one thing I'll give Xerxes credit for is he knows how to use his physical tools. He's tall. He's not big, but he's very strong. He's very hard to get off the ball. And he knows how to use that. Højlund is 6'4", quick as hell. Don't know how to use any of that. It's crazy. Amram is responsible for 70% of our issues. The formation is fine, but his team selection is so bad. Yeah, I honestly, the thing, a lot of pundits automatically go to the 3 at the back, yada, yada, yada. I've always said this. The 3 at the back, it could easily be a 5 at the back, or it could be a 3 at the back. It all depends on how you use it and what is your intention with it. And in the beginning, I think Amram wanted to use it for attacking purposes. But then he started conceding very sloppy goals, yada yada, and then he went to cowardice. Then he went to 5 at the back. And now it's consistent. Now obviously we have Dorgwin, so at least we have one kind of actual wing back. Now we obviously have Bell on the other side. But we still kind of defend with 5. Our center backs suck half the time. And we look very sloppy. And off the ball, I think our shape is terrible. The 5-2-3 or 5-3-2, whatever you defense. Most managers that play with the what's it called, with the 3 at the back. For example, Xavi Alonso plays the same formation. And I understand his squad is so much better, right? I understand his squad is so much better. Leverkusen obviously clear of us. But just off the ball shape, you can tell why it's so much better than Amram's. And for example, and if Amram uses the same off the ball shape as United, I think we look much better. Our off the ball shape is currently our biggest issue. We are terrible off the ball. We're also terrible on the ball. But if you're going to be terrible on the ball, at least be better off the ball. And we're not good off the ball. And that, for me, is tactical. Off the ball is tactics. That's tactics. On the ball, yes, you need a certain amount of quality and stuff like that. But you see worse teams, better teams with less quality, how do they make up the points? How do they get results? They're solid as hell off the ball. And that's coaching. That is coaching. And right now, off the ball, our formation off the ball is wrong. And we're getting exposed for it. It's very, very easy to play through us. Yesterday, the midfield gaps that we had were absolutely diabolical. Bruno and Casemiro were like 40 meters apart. We criticized Ten Hag for that last year with the Mason Mount, Casemiro, Bruno midfield. And we knew how bad it was going to be off the ball. Bruno, Casemiro, obviously, you had to play that yesterday. But you could have set the team up more. You could have set up the team better shit tactically. For example, yesterday, you could have played a 3-5-2, and you could have had more midfielders to play a little bit more compact, but you didn't do that. So that's my issues with Amram. He needs to do better from that perspective. I understand the squad is bad, and that's not his fault. But you can absolutely set the team up much better, because I understand. But I'm just saying this: Manchester United squad is not 15th level bad. It's just not. It's not, man. It's really not. It's really not. Like, I'm sorry. It's really not. It's really, really not. And now, obviously, with the injuries, we are going to be, because we have so many injuries. But before that, because it's not just about yesterday. It's about the week before that. And it's still about the week before that. And it's about the week before that. In Europe, man, maybe your system works in Europe and stuff like that. But in the Premier League, it's so obvious. Teams have already clocked your gimmick. They've already adapted. So now you have to counteract that. Because if this is the only way he can play, as Lord Ronnie says, it's kalas. It's over. If this is the only way he can play and he can't adapt and he can't fix that, then it's over, bro. Just sack him now and put him out of his misery. Please just put him out of his misery and go get a new coach. Because if he's not able to adapt, if he can only play one system and only one way of playing football, it's over. He's not making that United. Because let me tell you something. You're never gonna have the quality of players to be able to play one way and consistently win games. Because Jurgen Klopp, he only played one way, but it really started working when he had high level quality players, when he had the best front 3 in Europe, when he had the best center back in the world, when he has the best goalkeeper in the world, when he had one of the best attacking fullback combos that we've ever seen. Let's be real, that was luck from Liverpool. United are not going to have that luck in the market. We don't have that money to spend on the market. We don't have the intelligence to spend like that in the market. It's never going to happen. And this is why, in my opinion, I was somewhat dismissive of him. Like, also I think Thomas Tuchel was the best possible option for Manchester United, because he can basically turn water into wine. He knows how to adapt. He knows how to get the best out of his players. He knows how to set up a team compact. And then from then on, you go forward. It's much easier to build. Right now with Amorim, yes, you got the left wing back. And you're probably going to get Quenda. So good. You set your wing backs up. Calm. Midfield, I don't understand. Well, the midfield that you need from Amorim, for Amorim's system to succeed in the Premier League, I don't think they exist. I think only one has existed in football history, and it's N'Golo Kante. Well, N'Golo Kante's washed, and he's in Saudi Arabia. So, who are you going to get to play that system? It's how it goes. So, yes, the squad is shit, but right now, our manager is also performing like shit. Once again, two things can be right. We all know, I know in the United fan base, two things can never be right at once. It has to be one extreme or the other extreme. It can never be two things at once. But let me tell you something. It is two things at once. Our squad is bad, and our manager is also currently not good. Yeah, you need players like Caicedo and stuff like that. Ugarte may be off the ball. Actually, no, Ugarte is not. Well, you know what? Ugarte tricked me. For 2 weeks, he almost had me. You know what? He almost had me. But no. Ugarte almost had me, but nah. This guy's generally one of the worst. But he didn't play yesterday, so I'm not gonna talk about him. But you need smart strategy. And honestly, I'm gonna get on to Ineos next because in the grand scheme of things, the players are bad, the manager's bad. But the huge issue is Ineos and the Glazers, of course. Because let me tell you something about the Glazers. The Glazers are the greatest hustlers that professional sports has ever seen. They're gonna make a documentary about them one day, and all you can do is really, honestly, obviously, I know we hate them, but you just have to respect it. The way that they have hustled Manchester United is one of the greatest things we've ever seen. They bought the club without their money. They ran it to the ground. They gave the sporting part of the club to new owners. So then when we're bad, the blame goes on said new owners, and they're just in the background making money. They're just in the background making money and not getting blamed. Bro, it's crazy. No, bro, Daniel Levy has nothing on the Glazers because Daniel Levy actually wants to make Tottenham. He wanted to improve Spurs. He got them a new stadium, all that kind of stuff. I promise you, the Glazers would never want to get us a new stadium. They would never had any intentions on it, bro. Manchester United have 75 mil to their name to operate. I'm not talking about transfer budget. Forget about that. 75 mil to operate on a daily basis. That's paying wages to the players, to the coach, to the board, to whatever staff is left at Carrington. I don't know. Maybe it's 5 people left at Carrington. I don't know. But it's that bad at Manchester United financially. It's genuinely that bad. And it's their fault that it's gotten that bad. That's not on Ineos. What is on Ineos is chasing Dan Ashworth for 5 months and sacking him 3 months in. It's not really improving the data team. Scouts getting into bed with George Mendes. Yes, it got us plenty of euro, but it also ended up with you spending 60 mil on Manuel Ugarte. That's on Ineos. That's not on the Glazers. So you know what? They're both to blame. They're absolutely both to blame. And I'm going to be real to them. Unfortunately for them, United fans don't have the patience. Excuse me. And we don't have the time to wait for them to luck in and to them to fix everything and to get good. It's clipped, bro. It's genuinely clipped. And that's why I said, what do we do from here? I don't know what we do from here. I'm going to be real. For the first time in my life, I don't know where United go from here. I really, really don't. It's never been this bad. It's generally never been this bad. I'm not even talking about on the pitch. On the pitch has obviously never been this bad, but off the pitch has never been this bad. It's very, very. It's gonna be so. You basically have to have 100% hit rate with everything you do, and that's impossible because you cannot be perfect in life. Everyone makes mistakes. It's impossible to be perfect in life. But this situation requires Ineos to have perfection, and they're not gonna be perfect. I don't expect them to be perfect, but it's that bad. And it all started, honestly, the second Ten Hag, waiting to sack him until October was terrible. Not bringing in Thomas Tuchel was also a terrible decision from them. And Amram, there's parts of me that feels bad for him, then there's parts of me that doesn't. Because at the end of the day, you took the job. You knew how bad United were. And I understand it's very hard to turn down Manchester United, but it's not Manchester United from 2005. He could have easily turned us down. He could have eventually gotten a better job. So I'm not gonna feel bad for him from that perspective. You chose to be here. At the end of the day, you chose it. You listened to Ineos. You bought in their vision. You bought what they told you. That's not. I cannot. I can blame Ineos for transfer window of summer 2024. I can absolutely blame them for that. I can absolve Amram of blame of how bad the squad is, but I also can't fully absolve him of where we are in the table. I can't do that. That's just not fair because it's not all on the players. Because at the end of the day, I've seen worse teams perform better. They didn't hold him at gunpoint. They did not have a gun to his head and be like, you must come to Manchester United. They said, either you come now or you come in the summer. Or you never come. He could have been like, okay, whatever, I'm not coming. Go get another manager. He was first in the league in Portugal. He was top of the Champions League table. I don't think that would have continued happening, but nonetheless, it wouldn't have happened. But he could easily get a better job. But he chose to come to Man United because he thought he could fix it. I can't feel bad for him from that perspective. I can feel bad for him how bad the squad is and how Ineos didn't invest for him. That absolutely I can feel bad for him about that. But him choosing to come to Manchester United in the middle of the year, I don't feel bad for him for that because at the end of the day, he chose it and no one forced him to do it. That was his decision. They gave him the ultimatum. He chose that. We always say in life, you have to lie in the bed you lie in your bed. You made the bed, you have to lie in it. You made your choice. You must live with that choice now. You can regret it, absolutely. And I'm sure he regrets it. But I'm not going to feel bad for him from that perspective. You chose to come here. It's the same with Ten Hag. I don't feel bad for Ten Hag. I'm done feeling bad for managers from that perspective. You chose, bro. There's enough history in the past 10, 12 years to show how bad Man United have regressed. The fact that they keep wanting to come here, that's not my problem. And that's their fault. They're choosing it. They should be yelling at their advisors. Their advisors should be advising them better. It's like you're picking a class, right? And everyone warns you. The whole professor's horrible. You're gonna fucking hate it. But like, you know what? Whatever. I'm smart enough. I could do it. And then come 2-3 months into the semester, you hate it. You're like, yo, what the hell? What the hell? Yo, they should have warned me better and stuff like that. But they did. The thing with the release clause, at the end of the day, anyone can trigger your release clause, but unless you agree personal terms with them, you don't have to go anywhere. Ineos made him an ultimatum, and he chose one side of the ultimatum. That's his choice. He made that choice. That's his choice. There's nothing. Why am I going to feel bad for someone making that choice? That's not my problem. The player he approved the release clause. He signed a contract with Manchester United. So from that moment, everything he does, parts of the thing is him, bro. They gave him. They said now or never. He should have said never. But he said now. That's not our problem. Like, honestly, I'm gonna be real. I'm tired of managers in 2025, bro. Because I'm gonna be real. Manager, yo, for example, Chelsea fans, Maresca, bro. This guy's yapping out of his ass too. Talking about the Herzler guys, bro. It's like it's not my problem, bro. Managers have too much lip in 2025, bro. The main star of the show is now the manager, not the player. What happened to my sport, bro? What happened to my sport? Why is the manager the main character? He's not the one on the pitch. And that's why when they tell me about player FC and stuff like that, yeah, I'm most likely always gonna back the player, but I just want my coach to coach good. And yet he let go of players with no replacement. He could have easily told Ineos, we can't let go of these guys because I have no squad right now. I literally have no options. We need to keep them. He isolated, and I'm not sure it wasn't all his decision, but I'm going to bring this back to Marcus Rashford because people might hate it, but listen to this now. You're telling me, and also that comment about the goalkeeping coach, whatever. He said, basically, what's it called? He basically said Marcus Rashford, the training and all that kind of stuff, which I always thought was bullshit because the guy has always been a great trainer. There's always been every single teammate of his has always said that. But nonetheless, you could have easily handled that better. Instead, he kept adding fire. Kept adding fuel to the fire, kept adding fuel to the fire, kept adding fuel to the fire. He kept doing that. You don't want to do Rashford revisionism? But we are going to do Rashford revisionism because I'm tired of the way people lie. Yes, he went out. Maybe he betrayed his trust. But as a coach, when you're in this dire of a situation, when you're at Manchester United, you don't keep making comments like that to interviews. You just kept adding fuel to the fire, and you added even more of a headache about yourself because then it no longer became about the football, it became about the star. As I do Rashford revisionism, I'm seeing Marcus Rashford apparently hasn't trained good in 2 months, went away, and I agree. He didn't need to change, and I'm happy for Marcus Rashford. I wish him all the best and all that kind of stuff. But from a Manchester United perspective, banishing him, isolating him out the squad, and then sending him out on loan, sending Anthony out on loan, who I don't even rate like that. What makes you think that you can just banish those guys, send them out, and no replacement? Because you knew the odds of you getting a replacement were slim to none. And if he didn't know that, then he's naive. Because everyone in the world knows that we were probably never going to spend in January. So go, and then at the end of the day, if you're fine with that and you're like, whatever, well, I'm just going to basically hope and pray for the season, then you better be ready for the smoke that you're going to catch from fans. I'm not saying myself, but from other fans when you're 15th in the Premier League, because you're 15th in the Premier League. No matter what, it doesn't matter if the squad is shit. You're the manager. A lot of that's going to fall on you because you're not getting this team to perform at any capable level. Football's always been player power with the manager, unless said manager is a Pep, a Fergie, basically that. It's always going to be player power because the players are the one on the pitch. You can't overhaul a squad, but you could always change a manager, but you can never overhaul a squad. That's how it works in football. It's always been like that in football. The players are always more powerful than the coach. It's like that in mostly basically every professional sport. And that's what's wrong with modern football. This is why I say modern football's cooked. We got coaches acting like they're the superstars of the squad. We got big clubs acting like they're Brighton Football Club. That's the part where I get confused and stuff like that. And this is why I look at that's why I say Manchester United is cooked, bro. It's generally like that. I just don't understand. I don't know what's going on there, but I think a lot of people are to blame. I think obviously the squad's to blame, the coach is to blame, the ownership group, everyone is to blame. You cannot be 15th and someone's innocent. If you're 15th place in the Premier League, everyone's to blame. There's not a single person in that room in that club that is innocent right now, other than the academy kids. They're the only innocent ones because they have nothing to do with this. In some part, everyone there is to blame. I think the manager, then he's just not good, bro. I'm gonna be real. He's just not good then. He's just not good. Can't get anything from him. Bro, the first job of a coach is to get the best out of your squad. That's the first job of a coach. And don't tell me about Everton's team is better than Manchester United. That Everton team is absolute fucking dog shit. It's absolutely terrible. Yeah, I have David Moyes making Beto, who before Moyes walked through that door, Beto was considered the worst striker in the Premier League. But all of a sudden, he's bagging goals. Coaches, the first job as a coach is to adjust to their squad and make them play to their strengths. And this is why I say coaches are becoming the most egotistical and it's the worst thing about football. Because even Fergie, who's the greatest coach of all time, adjusted to his squad every single time. Carlos Queiroz said, we can't play 4-4-2 anymore. We have much more dynamic attackers. We need to play 4-3-3. The game's evolving. We need to change it up. He did that. He changed formation. He wasn't stubborn. He wasn't rigid. That's the job of a coach. The first job of a coach is to adjust to his players. Thomas Tuchel walked into Chelsea Football Club when they were ninth place after Frank Lampard. And what's the first thing he did? Like, yo, the squad, it can't really play my 4-4-2. It can't play my 4-2-2. I don't have the attackers for that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to play a 3 at the back because I have flying wing backs. I have a lot of center backs. I have my Regista. I have a contact. I can make it work with the midfield pivot. And then I could have I could have my fullbacks, since they're much better attacking. I can have them help my attack, which is probably my worst part of my team. That's what a top coach does. A top coach adjusts to his squad. And then he instills his principle, and then he continues evolving the squad until he can finally get enough players where he can really play his final vision. That's a top coach. A top coach isn't one that decides, fuck it, I'm going to play the worst system for my players, and if they don't adapt, they're out. This isn't a low-tier football club. This is big Manchester United. And yes, I know we're not big right now, but the expectations is a lot different than at Sporting, than at Braga, than at Everton, than at Bournemouth. You cannot sacrifice a season. That's not how it works. That generally is not how it works. A top coach, the first job, forget about top, the first job of a coach is to improve his squad. That is what you were hired for. He was hired to improve Manchester United. And all he has done so far is make Manchester United worse. He has not improved us. If he's not good, sack him. And this is what, and shout out Academy. I think it was Academy Scoop, the big United Academy account. He actually knows his stuff and stuff like that. But he said Amram's done something that other coaches haven't done before, and that's stick to his principles. And I said this doesn't doesn't directly apply to Amram, but what if said coach has shit principles? Why does sticking with them become a positive? Because he doesn't abandon his principle. It's like I compared it to this, right? Imagine you have the same studying technique for a test, right? You study the same exact way, but you fail the test constantly. You keep failing the test. Why should you get praised for your study techniques if you're failing? And right now, Amram's techniques are failing because we are 15th. In every possible metric since he got hired, we have gotten worse. And the fact that he admitted that Erik ten Hag and Wout van Nistelrooy got better out of the squad than him. You were hired to improve Manchester United, and that includes improving said squad that it is currently happening right now. Because no football club, unless you're Chelsea, when you have $1 billion free to spend, no other club can overhaul a squad like that. So you have to improve the people that are there. That is your job as a coach. That is your job as a coach. He'll get his own players, but that doesn't improve. You can't improve the ones that are currently here. Because let me tell you something. This is a crazy thought, by the way. If you improve the current players here, you can increase their value, and then you can have more money to spend for your own players. Bro, it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. These players are done. By the way, can anyone tell me a single player that Ruben Amorim has improved since he came into this squad? Because Lenny Yoro looks worse than he when he was at Lille. Kobe Mainoo looks worse than he ever did. Amad Diallo is just getting playing time. That's really about it. Højlund looks worse than he's ever done. Bruno Fernandes is playing all over the gaff. Who's improved since he got in here? Your job as a coach is to improve your players. When a new boss gets hired at a company, right? When a boss gets hired at a company, because the previous one was failing. What is the person's job requirement when he comes in? Is to improve the performance levels of his team. That is their requirement. And if they prove they can do that, then they get the opportunity to bring in their own guys, to maybe change it up. They have the respect to be able to do that. That's how it works. And yeah, making those subs yesterday, to me, showed that he's a coward. He's a coward. He had the opportunity to be like, you know what? Yo, Z, since you want to talk about how bad the squad is, okay, the squad is terrible. So why not give an academy kid the opportunity to prove that he's better than said squad players? Why not? Let's see how good they are. Let's give them the opportunity to show that maybe we have some non-duds in the academy. Maybe we have some studs. The biggest sign of that's for me yesterday was cowardice. Yesterday was cowardice. Who did Van Hal improve? Van Hal is a million times better than coach. Van Hal improved Chris Smalling. Van Hal made Chris Smalling and Daley Blind the best center back partnership in the Premier League at that time. We conceded the least amount of goals. He made David De Gea into a sweeper keeper. He's the first one that started playing Ashley Young at fullback. That's coaching. That's coaching. Don't ever compare Ruben Amorim to Louis Van Gaal, because Louis Van Gaal was actually a great coach. And you know what? When he had an injury crisis, he went to the academy, which was much, much worse at the time than it currently is. And he said, I'm going to put you guys in and I'm going to coach you and we'll see what happens. He already had ability. You have Matthias de Ligt, who apparently we signed from big Bayern Munich. You have Harry Maguire, who's an 80 million pound center back. You have one of the best 18-year-old center back prospects in the world. Yet we're still conceding cheap goals. Please, this is what I hate about Amorim. I said, stop comparing Amorim to previous coach. Who did Ole improve? Ole put Martial back at striker, and he improved him certain times in terms of his box presence. That's how you coach. Who has Ten Hag? You know what? Ten Hag improved Dallo. I thought Dallo would look pretty freaking good under him. Hell, I even saw Ten Hag go to the new camp and play workhorse at the 10. And I'm not even trying to leave Ten Hag revision because I think he's a crap coach. But they adapt to certain situations. Every coach has to do this. He's an Ole player. Bro, he's a Manchester United player. He's not an Ole player. He's not a Van Gaal player. He's a Manchester United player. That's what they are. They're Manchester United players. Did Ole have this excuse? Did Ole have this excuse when he inherited Jose's squad? No. Did Ten Hag have this excuse when he inherited Ole's squad? No. You improve the players that you have, and then, of course, with time, you get your own players. You get your own players with time. That happens. Obviously, with transfer windows and stuff like that. But you must also improve the current players. You cannot just be playing them in a system that's never going to win them games. Because if he is doing that, then you're basically admitting that he's setting up his team to fail. And if you're doing that as a coach, you should be absolutely sacked. That's what needs to happen. It's that simple, man. I'm tired of coaches getting this pass because of previous coaches and not having their squad, yada, yada, yada. It's mattering. It's generally grating. I don't care about short-term results. I just care about winning football games. Your main priority when you step onto the pitch is to win a football game. That is the priority. Said coach said that I deserve time if I get results. You're not getting results. So by his own quotables, he doesn't deserve time. The guy you're defending said that you don't get time if you don't get results. So there you go. It's case shut and done. It's that simple. Football is a results-based business. And you know what? I'm tired of project talk. It's a results-based business. With results comes more grace and time like that. That's how it works in football. That's how it works in professional sport. I'm not saying the formation. I don't give a fuck about the formation. I generally don't care about the formation. I'm not asking for formation change. I'm asking for adaptability within his own system. I'm asking for a change off the ball. Off the ball, it's not about 4-3-3 and all that kind of stuff. Off the ball, stop inverting your center back into midfield. Stop having the gap between your midfield to be 40 yards. That's not a player issue. That's a coaching issue. Because if all players look bad in the squad, most of the time, most likely, that's because the coach is not coaching good. That's how it works. That's the same thing we said under Ole when we were struggling against low blocks. We said it's a coaching issue. When we're struggling now, it's still a coaching issue. It's a player and coaching issue. Once again, I honestly beg this with United fans. Stop thinking it's one or the other. Most of the time in life, it's probably both. Life is not decided in extremes. It's decided in the small margins and stuff like that. It's both issue. It's a player and it's a squad. It's a player and it's a coach issue. Yes, every single coach adapts to his players. Because if you don't adapt to your players, then what the hell are you coaching? Because if as a coach, you need to deliver a message to your players, and you need to execute said message. Clearly, these players can't execute the current message. So change your message up just a little bit and see if it works. Oh, the season's always been a write-off. I wasn't expecting top four because I never did. I never demanded top four like other United fans have because I don't believe we have a top four squad in the Premier League. So therefore, I cannot. I didn't demand anything. All I demanded from Amarim was to see an improvement in how we play football, and I have not seen an improvement in how we play football. If anything, I've seen a decrease in how we play football. That's all I asked for Amarim. I asked for better football. I asked for a vision. And right now, call me blind. I ain't seen no vision. I feel like Daredevil. I have glasses on. I'm blind, bro. I'm not seeing no vision. Genuinely, man. There is no vision, man. There is no vision. Who's two back-to-back games were honestly, well, we play Everton next, right? So I said they're not executing his message. Maybe the message is wrong. You have to try to change the message. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be better, but if you don't try and you persist with what you're doing right now, we're going to keep losing. You can't keep losing. I don't care how bad the squad is. You cannot keep losing and then just have no blame placed on your head. That's not how it works. That's not how sport has ever worked, bro. I don't understand how we all of a sudden can be just giving free passes. Why, he does not deserve a free pass. I'm not asking for him to be sacked. I'm asking for him to change something. I'm asking for him to do something that can make me believe in him because right now I don't believe in him. I don't believe in him. All I see right now is a man out of his depth. That's all I see right now. I see a man out of his depth. He's out of his depth right now. And none of these little nice little witty comments in the media are gonna help anymore. The time for that has gone now. I said when he got hired, bro, the quotables are amazing. The way he's speaking is crazy. It's amazing, right? But I said, talking can only do so much. You have to apply, you have to show something. And right now, he is not showing something. Bro, he's the same guy that said formation doesn't matter, it's the principles. So if formation doesn't matter, why can't you play a different formation with the same principles? It's stuff like that, man. It's clearly it's stuff like that. He needs it, bro. Bro, you cannot just continue playing this way. I never said yesterday was on him. I'm talking about the whole 3-4 months he's been here. I don't even know how long he's been here. I'm talking about that. That's what I'm talking about. I don't do single game individual analysis right now. I'm talking about, I said what he's doing as a whole. He wasn't my first choice. He was not my first choice because I was worried about stuff like this. Of course he looks out of his depth. He's 15. He panics. He has a very crazy rage temper, by the way. He crashes out a lot. He doesn't know how to speak in interviews because let me tell you something. If you can't speak well in interviews, in terms of when I'm talking about speak well in interviews, he doesn't know how to control himself in the media. It could easily go wrong. I'm tired of that. Honestly, I'm generally tired of managers. I'm tired of managers in 2025, bro. I'm generally tired of managers. It's annoying, bro. It's like all of a sudden, like I don't understand how when this happened when managers became the main character. I don't know. Go find. That's up to any of us to go find a coach if they sack him. He's not gonna get sacked, by the way, because we're broke and we can't afford to pay him out. So nonetheless, not gonna get sacked. But go find a coach that you think can improve this, can continue improving and can sell the vision.
if I had to make a top choice, I think someone like Iraola would be a nice choice for Man United. I'm still gonna say Kieran McKenna, but that's not gonna go well with the United board. Thomas Tuchel probably was the chosen one, but bro, go get someone. That's up to Ineos to find that. Not my problem. Because I see this on Twitter a lot, right? And I have this question. If it wasn't Amram that was, let's say Gareth Southgate was the one that got hired right after Ten Hag, and Southgate was the one that was putting up this level of performances and stuff like that, what would the reaction be from the fan base? Well, because Amram has a nice name, he came from Sporting, he was successful there. To be fair to him, it's given time. But he's generally just not performing well as a coach right now. We're batting, bro. People have the clout. We're generally, bro. We're getting a top club hype, bro. I'm tired of this, bro. A coach is a coach. Man United are currently playing with more defenders than attackers. That's not a coaching issue. Be brave. What did we all ask of Amram when he came into the job? We said this. We said, play brave. Be brave. He's not brave right now. He's playing scared. And that's what I'm talking about out of his depth. The pressure, it's already getting to him. You see the face reaction. You see when we can see the goal, he does the Marcelo Bielsa pose. It's stuff like that. The poise. That's what I'm talking about when he's out of his depth. It's stuff like that. Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, it might seem minuscule to you, but it's not minuscule. Stuff like that has an impact. Saying this is the worst Manchester United squad ever. Yes, we all know that, bro. But you don't say that in the media. Stuff like that matters. It's a personnel issue. You don't have this. I understand it. The personnel obviously is a big part, but you can also, in the meantime, adjust your personnel while also maintaining your principles. Why is it so complicated to understand that, man? He's more scared to lose than determined to win. You cannot coach scared at Man United because the moment the fear is smelt, the hunters will prey on you, bro. It will pounce on you. You cannot play scared at Man United. That's as a player and that's as a coach. There's a reason why Garnacho has lasted. Part of the reason why Garnacho outlasted Sancho at Man United is because he's never scared. He doesn't play with fear. He plays fearless. And at Man United, if you want to succeed, you've got to be fearless. That's how it goes. That's how it's always been at this football club. You got to be fearless. But you know what? The good news is we don't have to watch United play till Saturday again. I think we have early kickoff, unfortunately. But obviously, it's just the same topic and conversation over and over with Manchester United. But yeah, man, this is crazy talk. Well, that's Ineos' vision. Well, we are becoming Chelsea. Why? Because we keep sacking managers. That's not why we're becoming Chelsea. We're becoming Chelsea because we're trying to only recruit youngsters. Spot on, JJ, bro. Bro, the fact that you're just not holding the manager capable of any blame is crazy, bro. He has a lot of improvement to do if he wants to make it here. I'm not asking for him to be sacked, but all I'm saying is if you don't improve and we continue being 15th, 16th, if any of y'all sack him, I can't be looking at them and be like, I'm not gonna look at them and be like, what the hell are you doing? If we finish 16, 17 and they fire him, I can't sit here and be like, yo, what the hell are you doing? He finished 16th or 17th. When he joined, by the way, when Amram joined, we were 4 points off top 4. We're 4 points off top 4. We are now 15th. Well, first of all, he's not going to get given the money that Ten Hag was given because we're broke. Second of all, obviously he'll do a better job with his players. But that's not my issue. That's not what I'm talking about. My thing is that you, as a current moment, bro, and I'm trying to explain it like this. You're not always given the perfect situation. And if Amram needs to be given the perfect situation to even be looking competitive at Manchester United, then he's not a good manager. Because good coaches also deal well when a shit hand is dealt to them. Because I'll say this about Man United are not in a position where they get a coach that requires every single thing to be perfect for him to be competitive. Because then he's not good. That's a cherry on top manager. That's the type of manager you get when you have an amazing squad. Right now, we don't have that. We don't have an amazing squad. We don't have amazing money. We don't have all of that. So if he's a checkbook manager, as we like to say and stuff like that, well, it's not going to work at Man United then. Like, that's what I'm saying. Just put him out of his misery then. But we expect the reason why we all had high hopes for him was because at Sporting, he went into a bad situation. He dealt with it. He was brave in his selection. But he's not replicating that Manchester United. He's not. But obviously, we'll see whatever happens, honestly. Which coach has done better? Well, every single coach currently has done better than him in previous times. Ten Hag walked into a very, very, very situation, right? I'm not even trying to give him. You got me doing Hag revisionism. But he walked into a squad that had just lost Pogba, Matic, a lot of players, right? That had just finished 6th with like 58 goals scored. And he even did more in the beginning. He has the worst start in the history of Manchester United managers in the Premier League era. He has the worst start ever. The worst. And he's not even getting the most of the blame. The majority of the blame goes to Ineos because they're the biggest culprit in this. But as a coach with the same resources, well, no coach has ever come mid-season, so that's not fair to compare. Well, I just mentioned David Moyes. I'm not even going to talk about Manchester United. David Moyes at Everton. He walked into – it's the same thing when David Moyes came in mid-season with Arteta and stuff like that. He walked into a shit situation. And even Arteta, when he walked into Arsenal, he walked into a very shit situation. He improved. He got his team in the FA Cup. David Moyes has walked into Everton in a very, very shit situation, by the way, in the middle of a takeover. And he's doing better. I can compare to previous Man United managers because every Man United manager came in the summer. So that's not fair to compare. But I'll compare to other managers that have come into very shit situations in the middle of the season and improved their team. That's how it goes. Forget about Ruud. That was just United players were happy Ten Hag was gone. That doesn't matter. But Ruud's a shit coach too. Don't get it twisted. Ruud's a very shit coach. But it's about, and that's why people were excited for Amram, because at Sporting he was dealt a very, very shit hand, and he maneuvered his way through it by being brave and stuff like that. I'm not seeing any of those characteristics at Manchester United. Well, the guy himself said that he only used football in one way. But anyway, man, I'm tired of Coach, bro. But the thing is, no one's demanding Man United to go out there and dominate games right now. We just want to win a game. At this point, we just want to win a game. Because it's not the previous Man United where, yes, the main criticism is that you're not playing well enough, but at least they were still winning. The main issue right now is that United cannot win a football game. Forget about dominating opponents. Forget about all that kind of stuff. Just win a football game. That's the goal. Because we didn't dominate the ball against Liverpool. We didn't dominate the ball against Arsenal. But why did we praise Amr? Because we got results. Because results are ultimately what gives you hope and gives you expectation. So David Moyes had a better start. Oh, by the way, since we talk about manager resources, you know what? Speaking of David Moyes, when he came into Manchester United, got given one summer signing, which is Marouane Fellaini, didn't have a single other signing, walked in after the greatest manager the sport has ever seen, and he had a better start to his career at Man United. And he played better football than Amram is. You don't want to hear facts because you're still talking about manager, this manager, this manager, this. You don't want to hear that the manager, there's a possibility that he's just not good enough and that he needs to fix up too. We keep talking about players. I'm tired of talking about players. Why can't the manager also have responsibility? For example, if there's any Chelsea fans in here right now, yes, your squad is shit and stuff like that. But is Maresca doing well enough right now? Or should he be doing better? The personnel is not the only reason we're 15th in the Premier League. That's impossible. That's generally impossible that the personnel is the only reason we're 15th place in the Premier League. I haven't even said that I want him to be sacked. I said I want to see better from him. I'm demanding better from him. I can't do that. It's just blind positivity. I can't be positive about Emran right now. I can't do that because we're 15th. How can I be positive about him? Honestly, any Manchester United fan right now should not be positive about anything in regards to Manchester United. Not the players, not the coach, not the ownership. There's nothing to be positive about. Everyone should be on the chopping block. Everyone needs to do better from every single player. And that includes player favorites like Amad Diallo and Kobe Mainoo. Obviously, they're injured right now. But they also need to be doing better. Hoyland needs to be doing better. Aaron needs to be better. His stupid goalkeeping coach needs to do better. Every single person needs to do better. But the thing is, and going back to yesterday's game, I generally think yesterday he had a good opportunity to show some bravery that could be like, yo, you know what? That's cutthroat, bringing a kid and stuff like that. That shows promise that you can entrust in them and stuff like that. Of course, the issues are far deeper, and I've already talked about those issues. But today was talking about a certain issue, and that certain issue today was talking about the coach and how he needs to do better. That was today's issue. I have plenty of videos talking about the personnel issue. Go on the channel, click videos, and watch previous videos. But today, I wanted to talk about the coach today. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about how he could do better, and if he has any chance of succeeding here, what he needs to do. That was the purpose of today's video. Because I've already talked about how bad Hoyland is. I've already talked about how bad Garnacho is. I've already talked about how bad Casemiro is. I hate repeating myself. But I have yet to talk about Emre like this so far. And maybe yesterday was what's the saying? The straw that broke the camel's back or some shit like that, whatever the saying is. Maybe yesterday was my breaking point. And that's how it goes. But anyway, we rambled for an hour. And then yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Honestly, not much else to talk about. I'm not gonna promise when I'm recording next. I generally don't know. I feel bad doing promising you guys stuff like that. So I don't know when I'm gonna record next. But I appreciate all of you that stayed here, like 10 to 14 of you guys. You're already saying he's not a good coach. He's not showing right now. He's not showing me to be a good coach. Well, Ten Hag was also wanted by a lot of top clubs, but he ended up being a bad. The thing is, I'm not saying he's a terrible coach. I'm saying right now he's coaching the squad terribly. He's not coaching the squad terribly. And by the way, what he did at Sporting is amazing. But when you go to a new step and the step is higher than you've ever been before, maybe you're not ready to punch there yet. It's a weight class 2 above you. Maybe Amram needed a middle club in between Sporting and Man United. Maybe West Ham should have been the club that he went to. And maybe he would have been more ready for the job. That can also be true. Maybe he just wasn't ready for Man United job. Maybe he needed that middle club. That happens many, many times. No, I don't think he should deviate for his principles. I think he should adjust certain things. Like, for example, out of possession. We're not good out of possession. And that's not a personnel issue, as I keep saying. That's a coaching issue. The way we're set up out of possession is so easy to play through. It's very, very easy to play through. And that, for me, is a coach issue. Who's the better coach, in your opinion, Andrew Amaral? I think Ange. Yeah, I'll probably say I think Ange. Well, that's not true. We're really good out of position under Van Gaal, by the way, because we conceded the least amount of goals in the Premier League. Under Jose, we were okay. Under Ole, we were good at times, but sometimes not good. Ten Hag's first year, I thought we were decent out of possession. But yeah. And also, the reason we haven't was also a coaching issue. We cannot say that the past 12 years at Man United has only been a personal issue. It's absolutely also been a coaching issue. For example, Ole's main coaching issue was that he could not coach that next level. He was able to set up a nice mid-block team, counter, all that kind of stuff, but he wasn't able to implement tactics to take that next step in terms of dominating teams. Jose's main issue was that he wasn't catching up with the times, and his player relations and his player management was absolutely terrible. Ten Hag coaching issue was plenty. Yeah, man. Well, that's not true, by the way. And also with Ange, I'll say Ange's underlying metrics actually look very good. And yeah, I think Ange has many coaching issues as well, but from what I've seen, I think Ange's football is also really, really good. And I think with the right players and stuff like that, I think it has a higher ceiling. Not saying it's perfect football, but there's more automatism to his game. There's more consistency and patterns and stuff like that. He's not the perfect coach either, though. But yeah, man. But yeah, that's it, guys. I'll catch y'all later. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not even gonna say GGMU because United fucking suck. Bielsa leads. Bielsa don't disrespect Bielsa, please, because Bielsa had leads like top 10 with the championship squad. So let's not do that. And Bielsa, by the way, is a better coach than Amorim in terms of peak. Because Bielsa, ask Pep who one of his coaching idols is. Ask Poch, stuff like that. Please, man. Don't disrespect Bielsa. Bielsa's a great coach. Bielsa had Fergie looking stressed in Europa League, man. He also did Pammy himself. Bielsa, I think, needed better players. But Bielsa, by the way, when he coached good teams, and at the end of the day, obviously, relationship with ownership and stuff like that, I think got him sacked in many, many places. But if you ask Leeds fans, I'm not a lazy argument. Bro, please look up who Marcelo Bielsa is. Bro, do you know who Marcelo Bielsa is? I'm not a lazy argument. That's see what I'm talking about with Amber. I'm out of here, bro. The guy won Leeds for Sporting. Congratulations, man. It's good for him. But bro, yeah, acting like he earlier was compared to Van Hal, bro. Please, man. Bro. Respect Marcelo Bielsa, man. No disrespect to Amber, but he's not Marcelo Bielsa. I'm done, man. Bro, that's crazy, bro. I'm out of here. I'll catch y'all guys later. Enjoy your day, man. Enjoy your week.